Most Angelenos would agree that LA's complicated network of freeways is absolutely integral to the character of the city. But LA's iconic freeways didn't even begin to make an appearance until 1935. But a city as vast and sprawling as LA cannot function without an efficient means of transportation between its many distant regions. And before the emergence of freeways, the city was powered by the red car. The red car system was LA's privately owned mass transit system. It began in 1894, 150 trolleys. This is over 25% larger than New York's current subway system, and cost only a penny per mile. Perpetuated by the 1988 film Who Framed Roger Rabbit, is that big tire, gasoline, and car companies consolidated their power to buy out and destroy the red car in order to force people to drive instead. This allegation has some truth behind it. From 1938 to 1947, a Chicago-based company named National City Lines began buying up streetcar systems in cities all over the country, including Los Angeles. But NCL was not just any company. Its large was a front for the automobile industry. Unsurprisingly, when NCL acquired Pacific Electric, they began discontinuing LA's red car. In 1946, the Justice Department filed an antitrust suit against NCL for conspiracy to monopolize the transit industry. The corporate investors quickly bailed out before the case could come to trial, liquidating their shares in NCL and leaving it an empty shell of a company. When the case came to trial a year later, the companies invested in NCL were fined a whopping $5,000 each, and individual company officials were fined $1 each. But despite this merciless sentence, the red car was already doomed. But it wasn't entirely the fault of the car industry. Since the 20s, red car use had been in decline. Due to population growth, an aging infrastructure, and frequent collisions, private cars became much more alluring than public transit. But LA's streets were not equipped for the large amount of traffic that hundreds of thousands of pedestrians, no streetcars, no cross-traffic, no buildings. Just cars. Motorways, as the Auto Club called them, were a revolutionary idea, and in their proposal they had detailed plans for how the network of freeways should be established. This included a proposal for bizarre special-purpose motorway buildings. In general, the first and second floors of this building would be devoted to retail business, the third floor to the motorway proper, the fourth and fifth floors, and as many additional floors as required, named the airline route. Ramona Boulevard fit all of the requirements to be called a freeway. But with no center divider, there were 77 injuries in the first 40 months of the freeway's opening. LA built another small freeway 5 years later, the 2-mile Cahuenga Pass Freeway. These two prototype freeways are often overshadowed by the much more impressive Arroyo Seco Parkway. This parkway opened on December 30th, 1940, coinciding with Pasadena's Tournament of Roses. Rose Queen Sally Stanton. A city as vast as Los Angeles, it makes sense that people would adore the thing that makes it seem smaller. Angelenos are notorious for their obsession with freeways. And perhaps it's because our freeways are the true heart of the city. Unlike other major cities, the sprawling landscape of Los Angeles has no nucleus. Instead, we have our freeways. In the words of Joan Didion, to understand what was going on, it is perhaps necessary to have participated in the freeway experience, which is the only secular communion Los Angeles has. Mere driving on the freeway is in no way the same as participating in it. Anyone can drive on the freeway, and many people with no vocation for it do, hesitating here and resisting there, losing the rhythm of the lane change, thinking only about where they came from and where they are going. Actual participants think only about where they are. Actual participation requires a total surrender, a concentration so intense as to seem a kind of narcosis, a rapture of the freeway. The mind goes clean, the rhythm takes over.